This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, welcome to everybody out there that's watching and didn't run off a while ago with all the feedback and stuff we had. But you're watching Amateur Radio Roundtable. Tonight's Tuesday night, May 22nd, I think. I don't even know what day it is, man. We're still driving, 10 hours on the road. Katie had it easy. She flew back, but no, I had to ride in the back seat here with pilot, Airbus pilot Walter driving, man. Whoa.
We made it.
Yeah.
Somehow.
When you do those banks, Yeah. I mean, I was going like this. I was going like this.
That's way up on the curb.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, welcome. If you're new to the show, we're glad you're here. Click on the link above that says join us on Facebook. We'd love to have you join our Facebook group. Let's see, what else? Katie, what am I forgetting to talk about? Oh, we're on WBCQ tonight, 5130 kilohertz, famous international shortwave station out of Monticello, Maine. And we've got listeners out there on shortwave tonight. Send us an email to tom@w5kub.com, tom@w5kub.com, and tell us where you are and how you're hearing us and everything. Tonight we're going to be doing a hamvention recap, kinda. We got Katie and Dwayne on here with us. Walter's in the studio here with us tonight. We'll probably open the phone lines at some point and just let people call in that went and give us kind of their impression of how it went. So I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know what it is, but I'll think of it after a while. And in the meantime, let's go out to Colorado. Hey, Katie and Dwayne, how you guys doing?
We moved. We moved.
You did
We're
what?
In Wyoming. See, Tom, you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You moved. Yeah. That was Dave out in Colorado. In fact, I'm going to move you here. So you're kind of to the left of the screen. Watch this.
Oh, you gonna move
Watch this. Just watch.
Uh-oh.
Watch it.
Watch this.
What are you gonna do? Oh, look at that. We're
Did
in
it
the middle
move?
now.
I couldn't tell if it moved. Okay. Well, anyway, hey, I'm glad you guys made it home to Wyoming, Sundance, Wyoming. Wow. It's been interesting. Boy, the last 5 or 6 days has been nonstop. I'm sure it has been for you too. Where are we going to start tonight?
Well, we'll start by talking about that easy flight that started at 4 o'clock in Ohio, and we wound up getting home at 2 a.m.
Oh, that is easy. Man, y'all had it easy.
Nothing to it.
That's why my eye is twitching. You may end up seeing it as the show's going. I'm from being tired. I'm like all of a sudden it's like on me, so it should be interesting.
So when the plane landed, we had to drive another hour and a half home, and and Katie's watching me. She's over there watching me like,
"Are you awake? Are you awake? Are you awake?" Driving him crazy.
Yeah, well, we used to drive home Sunday after we pack up, and we were so tired. It was a 10-hour drive, and we're so tired. When the driver got tired, it was okay. Driver B, you're next, and driver B sets down. He's good for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and he's falling asleep. We got a driver C. Oh man, it was sickening. But you know what? We're staying extra night now, and it wasn't too bad, was it, Walter?
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't bad at all.
All right.
Well, it was a lot of fun and certainly a long bunch of days, but it was a great time as always.
I was going to use the mouse here, but my foot was tangled around the mouse cord. and when I pulled on the mouse, it about pulled me back under the table here. All right, so, okay. All right. Well, look, let's just start with you guys, Katie. You got some pictures and stuff. Tell us about your experience, man. Hey, for the first time, I didn't feel like this last year. Last year I was kind of neutral, but for the first time this year, I kind of felt like this was the best Hamfest there was as far as the facility and everything. To me, it just kind of all fell together. And let me just show everybody really quick. This is what our booth looked like if you missed us. I think we had a really nice looking booth. The only people that even came close to this was HRO, and theirs looked pretty good. But this one, I think it turned out very professional, and we had a lot more room this year, and we're just really happy with it. All right, Katie, go ahead. You and Dwayne, go ahead and take it.
All right. Well, I got a whole pile of photos because I had so many people stop by. It was a lot of fun. I agree. The booth location was terrific in Building 2, and it certainly worked out good for me to be able to pop over a little easier because you were in the same building as I was. Our ham radio outlet booths, we actually have 2 locations at Hamvention. We have our smaller satellite booth that's in Building 2, the same one as the W5KUB, and we're kind of across from ICOM. But then our big booth is over in Building 3. And because it's a little less busy where we are, not too terribly much, but there was a little more space for me to work from. So I tended to hang out more there. And the whole ARL section was across from us. So that was kind of handy when he was hanging out with his ARL badge on and visiting with tons of people. You guys were pretty busy in your booth when you were there, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, it was quite busy. And the space is a lot more limited here than it was at Hara, but we made work.
Yeah.
It worked well.
So let me pull up some, and certainly feel free to interrupt as I go through pictures, Tom, if you have any questions, and I'll rely on Dwayne to read the chat room as I go. So let me do.
Yeah, hey, let me just make one more contact while you're pulling it up. NE4RD, Bill, who's an admin, he's logged in tonight. I guess he's here.
Oh, good.
You know, he lives in Wyoming. He drove.
No, he lives in Montana.
I mean, I'm sorry,
Montana.
They live in
Montana. Who lives in? They live in Wyoming.
We're in Wyoming.
Dave lives in Colorado. Okay.
Next week we'll have a geography lesson.
Yeah. So
all things are
Montana?
8 hours or more away from us.
Pretty
Montana.
much,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, let me just say this: Bill drove all the way by himself from Ohio to Montana, 24 hours.
Oh, I know, that was crazy. And I saw that he did that. I thought he was nuts myself.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can see.
Talk to us.
So this was getting set up. Actually, this was Sunday after the show, but I met a guy that was he was interested in social media, and particularly what the ARL was doing. And on my left is Michelle Patnode, who's the social media person at the ARL. And then in the middle, you guys might recognize Bob Allison, WB1GCM.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. Jeez. Bill, Bob I've known for a long time. When I was working at the ARL, he was a volunteer there and then ended up getting a job in the lab. And he was a engineer at the local Channel 30, which was the NBC station. And now he's doing his dream job. And as you guys know, he used to do a lot of the What Is It Wednesday videos, and he does a lot of videos on Instagram, and it's always a favorite. And so this gentleman had stopped by, wanted our photo, and also was begging Bob to redo some of his What Is It Wednesdays.
Yeah, Bob also is the guy, well, not the guy, but a lot of times when we do reviews of products at ARL,
right.
it's Bob that's doing all the testing and reviewing.
Darn it. Wait a minute. Let's see. I got to go back. Okay, so this next photo is during our setup day. I went out to the food trucks for a change, and that was the infamous chicken and noodles. Totally healthy, as you can see, full of gravy and noodles, and there's mashed potatoes under it to boot. So
That was pretty good.
I just thought I had that was my one and only food picture I took while I was there. Bill WZ1L took this picture of me. As you guys know, I fell a few weeks ago and sprained my ankle while running. I've been training for a half marathon, and so I was able to periodically stop and rest and put my foot up in the air and just take it a bit easy. So he snapped that picture. Thanks, Bill. And then on Thursday night, we got all cleaned up, and Dwayne and I went to the Packer Museum with the ARL for the donor reception. Normally I go off for a work dinner, but this year was the year that we were being recognized for joining the ARL Maxim Society, and it was a beautiful
Cool,
location.
yeah.
The museum there is terrific, and it's some really good food, so we can actually clean up pretty good. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, look at that. Looking sharp.
Thanks. Okay, and there's President Rick Ruled, K5. You are talking. What?
Rick Roderick.
What'd I say? Oh, Rick Roderick. Good grief. Rick Roderick, K5. You are. I'm so tired. I can't think straight. And okay, you guys might recognize Mike from SDR Play. We had him on not too long ago, and he's looking forward to come back and talking about all the new things that are happening with SDR Play. And they were located at the end of our booth again this year. They had a steady stream of business down there. All of the gang from SDR Play was on site. Went over to stopped over to the Ham Radio Deluxe booth to check out all their cool new setup. They've got some great new things happening with their software, and Kevin, KC7FPF, is net control for Ham Nation and also works with HRD. And then Mike, WA9PIE, is the owner of HRD, was giving us a nice photo bomb while we were being goofballs. But as you can see, you can't take yourself too seriously when you're having fun at Hamvention. I managed to rally all my troops, basically like herding cats, trying to get everybody together before the show started so I could get my group photo to use for work. So that was the team that worked. That's me, of course, on the left. And then Mike runs our Phoenix store, and Eddie works down in Plano. Back here is Rob, who is W6RJ, is the owner's son. Hopefully I'm getting it right. And he is the Bob, who founded Ham Radio Outlet. He now has his call sign. There's Luke, KK6RX, and he is KK6XX. He is our corporate buyer. There's my boss in the middle, Steve Gilmore, and W4SHG. He's a national sales manager. Here's our owner, Robert Ferraro. Next to him is Rich Vyaski. He is our new operations manager. And then Mark, a lot of you guys probably know, who is our Atlanta store manager, and then the infamous Miss Janet Margelli, KL7MF, the Anaheim store manager. So quite a team this year, and a bunch of hardworking people, I tell you. So this was as the show was opening. I popped outside to catch the crowds rolling in, and boy, it didn't take long for everybody to pop in here and just start heading off to different directions. I was happy to see that there was a variety of ages to be seen. There were some younger guys here as they were wandering in looking for things. Even this young group I thought was super cute, with the baby on his back and little girl walking along with them. So definitely I saw a lot of young people there, which was really encouraging. As many of you guys know, Don Wilbanks from Amateur Radio Newsline and, of course, Ham Nation couldn't be there because his son was graduating high school this weekend, so they had a not Don Wilbanks activity happening, so there was a flat Don, and I was just kind of goofing around with that one. There's, sorry, I'm looking at two different screens. That is KD2GUT from Amateur Radio Newsline, and Paul, WD9GCD from Amateur Radio Newsline.
GCO.
Thank you, GCO. I just put my glasses on, so now I can read it better. You guys didn't see that one. Okay, let's see who else. Oh, and there's my friend Tim, KB3NPH. He and I used to work tech support together. He's still doing tech support, is in charge of all of it for Ham Radio Deluxe. And if you notice behind him, then there's NE4RD right nearby. So I managed to catch him in the background.
And hey, Katie,
Yeah.
right there next to where Bill NE4RD was, where HRD is.
That's where you were last year.
That was our old space last year,
Right.
where HRD is.
Right. Yours is much better this year, I have to say. But their booth is better this year where it is in your old spot compared to last year, for sure.
Oh, okay. Good.
There's a good buddy, Dave Willey, NT9E. He's very active up in the Milwaukee area at the ham clubs up there, and I met him a few years back at a contest dinner, and we've been friends on Facebook for a long time. There's our section manager from Wyoming, Jack Mitchell, N7MJ. He was very excited to get out to Hamvention this year. He hadn't been in a while, and so he was there helping out in the booth, particularly in the public service area and the Aries area. So I was able to go over and pick their brains as a new EC, him and our Kentucky state section manager and a few others. There's Chrissy Hart. She is KC8UFV, one of my YLRL friends, and I was happy that the YLRL booth was right smack next to us. That made it easy to catch up with a lot of the YLs as they worked their way through. There's Jerry, a regular here watching the show, and then of course in the chat room, K8VGL. So it's kind of fun to be able to put faces to chats here in the chat room, and of course Facebook. And for any of you guys, if you don't, aren't on Facebook or following some of my posts, it's a good way to kind of see who these people are that you're chatting with in the chat room. Now this is my buddy, and I can never pronounce his name because he's from Turkey, but I always say Sunyet. And he is Tango Bravo 2 Kilo Kilo. We've been friends on Facebook for quite a while, and he came to Hamvention 2 years ago. I got him to meet him for the first time, and got to see him again this year. So that was really fun and exciting. Now here were the ham chicks to beat all. I was really excited, and as you know, I ended up talking to Jerry and Amy on the show over at our booth. And Jerry AI6TK, Jerry Ellsworth, and Amy Herndon AI6ZU with Tilt 5. And Jerry was the guest speaker at the AMSAT banquet on, I think it was Friday night. And they came and made the rounds throughout Hamvention, and believe they had an awesome time, and it was really fun getting to know them.
And guys, it's always nice to meet new hams. For me, she was the first time I ever met Jerry and Amy. And Jerry and Amy are so interested in RTTY contesting that they're coming out for Reedy Roundup. So they're going to run Reedy Roundup from Wyoming. I'm just going to set the shack up, get out of the way, and let the women have it. So it'll be an all YL shift in WY7SS for Reedy Roundup this year.
Woohoo! And that is
Cool.
the impetus to get this darn shack cleaned up. You got a question, Tom?
No, I just said cool. Hey, you got to
Oh.
clean that shack up, Dwayne.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, okay.
And finish our remodel of the basement. This is my friend Mike K8ROX and his wife Danny K8ROK. They are actually just kind of newlyweds. They've only been married a couple years ago, but they met because of ham radio, just like Dwayne and I did. And I met Mike when I first became a ham back in 2006 at Smogfest in Rhode Island, which was a 6-meter barbecue. So it was fun to see them again this year. And, especially now that I've been a ham long enough to be able to say that I've known some of these people that long, it's really kind of fun, and be able to have a chance at least once a year to see each other. Now, this guy, Barry, WA2UEM, I've known Barry since about 4 years now, but Barry, again, was one of my customers at HRD and came over to say hello, and it was really nice to see him and have a couple minutes to visit, and I was able to email this photo off to him, and he has a very distinctive voice, so I always knew whenever he called, I didn't even have to ask who it was. I knew it was him. So that was kind of fun. Now, my friends from my DX group brought me a hat, and I couldn't find the group photo that they took with me, but the Hotel Papa 3 group brought me a nice little gift and some stickers, which I thought was super cool. And these lids I managed to get a photo with. There's KC1CWF on the left, of course, and Jerry W1VE, and Jim K1IR. These guys are all the Massachusetts hams. They're very active up in the New England area, and are some of Marty's big Elmers. So it was kind of fun to have a little time to hang out with them. And then Scott Cole from Tower Electronics, who I've also known for about 12 years, snuck in a photo. We got a little photo bomb from Dwayne there.
Yeah, I see the photo bomb back there.
Yeah. Those are the fondest pictures, I think, when people do that, actually. We do that to people when we go to a Jimmy Buffett concert and photobomb people at the pool parties. There's Scotty Meyer, KG9Z, and he's out in the Great Lakes division. I know Scotty quite some time, so I made him take a picture with me. And now this one I think Rhea took, or I might have gotten this one from William, but there was Tom and I in the booth. And, this is because this is from William, KJ6ZSP, because he made us pose next to my picture there and pointed out. And I thought that was kind of fun.
You look just like your picture.
I know, that's pretty good, although I had more makeup on in that photo, but I think
more hair.
And more hair, too, yeah. I chopped off some of the hair. And speaking of him, there's William, KJ6ZSP, so he was the one with taking the photos, and he's a super nice guy. It was really fun to meet him in person as well.
Yeah, where's he from?
He's from
North Carolina?
Six Land.
Is it North Carolina?
I think he's moved. He's not in Six Land anymore, but I can't remember now. I want to say it's East Coast. I think you're right, Tom. Yeah, see, he's wearing those.
I talked to him. I think he knows a friend of ours over near our home there in North Carolina, so that's the reason I asked that. Right.
I think that's correct. I just, it kind of becomes a brain dump after a while. You see so many people. So that was, I was going to use that as the last photo, but I think I have a couple more, but I was just showing off the fact that I had matching sneakers and a shirt there.
All right.
Everybody liked I found shoes that matched. A lot of you guys might have heard of the newer product, the Zoom Spot. And, hi Peekaboo, she just jumped up here. That is the owner, Jim, KI6ZUM, who's created the Zoom Spot and was there to answer questions for people, which was really helpful.
And HRO gave away on our show a Zoom Spot.
Yes, that was one of the prizes. Now, here's an annual thing I have to do with Bud, W3FF, over at the Buddy Pole booth, is give him a little smooch, and then he sends off a photo to his friend Ed, NN3AA, as to kind of, or NN6AA, to kind of rub it in. Well, I didn't know that Miss Faith Hannah was behind us at first, and she was giving us rabbit ears.
Yeah, you get photobombed.
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. We ended up taking one without her there, but I didn't realize she was peeking behind, so I thought that was a perfect shot. And you guys might recognize Stuart, KB1HQS, who was huge with the National Parks on the Air, and actually his new book just came out. He was doing some book signings over at the ARRL, and very active on Twitter as well, and is still very active getting out in the street and activating different areas. Very much a portable ops kind of guy, and I unfortunately can't remember the name of his book at the moment. I thought I had a copy of it down here. I was going to bring a copy to have him sign it. I forgot that too. There's Miss Connie Ballantyne. Connie runs D-Star Nets and goes to a lot of the big shows, and we call her Connie the Cookie Lady because she makes cookies for all of us to keep us.
Good cookies.
Yeah, they are good cookies. Keep us going during the show. And here's another one of my YLs. BA3WHU. Carol came down from Ontario. I met her and her husband. She brought me a nice little gift. Thanks, Carol, and a nice little book bag that I could use from where she works. And had a lot of fun hanging out with her and her husband. We'd had a lot of laughs, that's for sure. And there's Jill, the infamous Jill. Yay! Yeah. All right, the crowd should be cheering now. KD8QG. Jill was hard working at the show, and unfortunately hurt her foot also at the show. So we were a pair to be tied, that's for sure. But it's always great to see Jill, and I really got to get some of those cat ears, I think. This I thought was pretty funny. This guy. Apparently he comes pretty regularly. This gentleman is a long-haul truck driver, and his dog stays with him, and somebody had warned me, don't get too close because he's definitely his guard dog. But he was walking around the show, and that's where the dog hung out. So you see all kinds of things at Hamvention. These guys are from the Netherlands, and I met them last year at Hamvention, and they brought me some mints this year, the Wilhelmina mints, which were named for the Queen, who used to always loved mints and ate them in church, apparently. Well, sitting in church and opening a noisy wrapper wasn't very good, so they recreated her favorite mints and put them in a box so that she could just slide open the box and eat a mint. So they brought me some of those, and they were pretty good. I thought that was kind of a fun thing that they thought of me. And there is the infamous Miss Ruth Willett, the Radio Club of America's Young Ham winner this year, and also an AMSAT star. She was working the AMSAT booth this year, and she's also been very highly promoted by Kettering University on their Twitter page for getting a club started at her college and staying radioactive and recruiting new hams. I met one of her friends that joined the club and was getting acclimated to the ham radio world. So really another young YL that I'm super proud to know and call a friend, and it's been fun watching her progress even in short time. So keep an ear out on the birds because she's a regular satellite operator, KM4LAO. And there we all know that guy, Joe K0NEB, had a fresh hat this year. Sorry, I had to get a quick sip of water.
That's a nice booth behind him there.
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
And, all right, this is kind of funny. Kevin, WA9VFD, he was at the counter, and I think I got my photos backwards, but I heard somebody go, do you take selfies with fans? And I'm like, yeah. But I was kind of occupied. I was typing something on my phone, and so it sounded like I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, oh, all right, well, never mind. I'm like, oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. I felt so bad. I was like, distracted and answering a question at the same time. So he fortunately realized I was just distracted and not trying to blow him off. So we had a nice photo. Oh, that's where he was. He had asked me the question. But as you can see, it's really hard to hear and concentrate when you're in the middle of crowds like this. You guys probably saw this one on the W5KUB Facebook page. When we arrived Sunday morning, I think it was, I discovered that your truck was right across from where we parked, Tom. So I thought I would go see if I could break in.
I did go back later and check to make sure everything was still in the truck.
It's good. It's good that you didn't have a marker because I was going to write WY7YL was here on that sticker, but I decided not to. There's me and Dwayne and Steve W7UDI, who became a new grandpa last night. His grandson was born, and he was waiting anxiously all weekend during Hamvention if that baby was coming out, but fortunately managed to wait till he got home. And Steve is also a regular net operator for ham radio, for the, what's that show on Wednesday nights? The Bob Heil show. I'm having a brain fart. Okay. There's Bill, NE4RD. Managed to grab a photo with him as well. Glad he made it home safe and sound since I see him on the chat room here. But managed to grab a quick picture, and it was good to actually say hello in person, not just tweet at each other. You guys might recognize these folks. This is the Begalis. There's Mr. Begali and Bruna Begali of Begali Keys. Came over from Italy and, of course, set up their booth. And they were right across from us. And they're just so super nice. And Mr. Begali is just one of the sweetest men.
They always donate a great expedition key for a prize on our webcast, and they always engrave it. W5KUB.com, Dayton Hamvention, bringing ham radio to you. And we gave that prize away. It's a really expensive key. I thought maybe somebody was going to win it that maybe didn't do CW and didn't want it, so I offered $100 cash. They had their choice. They could have the key or take $100 cash. Yep. And guess what they took?
They took that key, I bet.
They took the key. Yeah. Boy, I wanted that
smart.
key.
Oh, the very idea.
Yeah.
Darn it! Nice try, Tom.
Tom just wanted the key for himself.
Yeah. This is my buddy Lee VK3GK coming up from Aussie land, and get to see him. I met him for the first time in real life a few years ago at one of the pre-Hamvention parties, and I'll just leave it at that. And across from us was the Avr Industries, and Jason from Ham Radio 2.0 was doing an interview with him, so that was kind of fun to grab a quick snap of them talking about coax and wire. And they're made right there in Texas, family-run business also. And just thought to give them a little props. There's Ron, K9ID's booth, and Amy. I think Ron must have snuck out for a walk around, but you can see that a nice big area, and they were pretty busy all the time. And so lots of T-shirts, and I saw a lot of familiar T-shirts that they sold with people walking around on them. Oh yeah, there's an XYL T-shirt. These folks, I had so much fun chatting with Bob N3OAW and Mary N3RCH. They were walking along and said they were regulars and watching the show and loved it. And so I managed to stop and chat with them a bit, and we took some photos, and it was really enjoyed meeting you too. If you're watching tonight, hello. And this should be about the end. This was about we literally were walking out the door to get out of there, and there's our buddy Craig.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm losing my mind on call signs tonight. Normally they're really off the top of my head, but you guys all know Craig.
Oh yeah, Craig. Yeah.
He's in East Tennessee, isn't he?
Yeah.
And there was my owners, Robert and Rob. They were there checking out how Hambot worked after we gave away the SDR Play. That was our second donation. And sorry, the cat is crying to get out of the shack, and Dwayne's getting around me to get out of here. So they were checking all that out, and poor Robert had broken his wrist prior to the show, so we were making sure he took it easy on himself as much as possible. But really appreciate the gifts that HRO donated.
Craig is in the chat room.
Oh, good.
KM4.
Oh, there you are. Thank you. KM4YEC, Craig.
That's right.
Thanks, Craig. Sorry about that. Mark, that is Mark. Yeah, Mark from the Huntsville Ham Fest, the chairman, stopped by. You all right? He was going to wait for Tom to come back, because I think that was right when Tom was bringing astronaut Doug Wheelock back. And I'm like, oh, just come in here. We'll just take over the booth. And so we had a chance to talk about the Huntsville Ham Fest. And that picture actually was courtesy of Rhea N2RJ. So I totally stole that off Facebook. Thanks, Rhea. Let's see. Here we go. There's Andre, Papa Delta 3 OES, another DX friend. So it's one thing that's really nice at Hamvention is so many people that come in from around the world, and makes ham radio small and a lot of fun. And there's my buddy Andy, KP4AAN. That's his new call sign. Used to be KE0AYK when he lived here down in Colorado. And he was one of the Force of 50 that went down to help in Puerto Rico after the hurricane. Met a wonderful gal whose who worked down there and was working with her at the dam, and they worked together so much, ended up talking, falling in love, and they've gotten married, and he's moved down there, and he's turning into her ham. So you just never know what's going to happen with ham radio. And that is the end of my slideshow, sir.
All right. Well, look, we got a lot to talk about. We'll get back with you guys in a minute. Maybe
Yep.
you're gonna let
voice.
you're gonna let Dwayne talk tonight.
You want to
She
talk?
has to pull the string.
All right. Well, look. Hey, first of all, let me say this. In case this person's watching, I'm looking for Dina Green, up in the Dayton area. Dina Green, I think she's 15 or 16 years old, and she came up and we started talking. She's interested in ham radio, and she has started a ham radio club at the Miami Valley schools. And they have about 6 or 8 members. None of them have a license yet. None of them even had a study book. None of them, and there is no ham helping them. They're doing this all by themselves. So I talked to her. I gave her a study guide. Gave her some other books. I took them over to DARA, and I signed them up for membership, and bought them their first year membership for DARA, so they would have some contacts up there. And I've talked to some of the DARA guys, and they're going to help I guess Elmer them. And at the same time, we had a lot of people on the chat room saying they wanted to donate radios and donate equipment to them. So a lot's going on here. Dina Green, if you're in the chat room tonight, and you may be, Walter, I don't know if you can scroll down. Dina, if you're in, let us know. Let us know in the chat room if you're in. We may bring you in a telephone here in a few minutes and let you talk to us. So that was really cool meeting them. Hey, I worked all day putting this together. I grabbed some pictures. I'm not going to be as organized as you, Katie, but I'm going to throw some pictures up here real quick. Hey, this was Walter's first time. We're going to talk to Walter, too, about a first-time visitor there. But let me, let's see if I got the right mouse here. Let's see. Let me pull my pictures up real quick, and we'll just go through them. I've even got a few videos here, and Jeff in V3E did a lot of video and stuff for us. So let me see where. Oh, gee, remote. I think that's it there. There we go. Okay, guys. Well, this is our booth here right after we got it set up, and we really liked the location. It was in a really nice place right by the door, so that worked out really well for us. We thought we may have a lighting problem, but the lighting turned out pretty good there. Some of these are going to be duplicates. I'll go through them real fast. Oh, hey, here's the remote shack console we built. And we operated remote shack on the drive down, and it worked pretty good. We made some contacts. The bands were kind of dead, but at one time we actually started getting pile-ups of people calling us. So let's see, that worked through Wi-Fi in the truck back to the rig here at the house. You have all kinds of people come by. This guy's from Japan. He's one of the guys that collect military equipment. That handy-talkie was on 80 meters, and they were going to all get together on 80 meters there in a little while. And there's some of the crew right there, you know, some of our regular crew there. Let's see, let me flip on through real quick. That's Tommy. There's Tommy in a booth there. Tommy has been going with us for a number of years, and he was working the camera for us. There's Jeff. NV3E.
N3VE.
N3. Is it N3V? N3V. I may have messed his call up. Yeah. There's our sign. Again, we had astronaut Doug Wheelock with us again this year. This is the 5th year Doug has joined us, and he's become a very good friend and has joined us in many different ham radio things. And he also comes on our weekly show sometimes. Again, Tommy aiming the camera. There we are. We've already talked about Jerry and Amy there, and of course there's Katie. And I snuck in behind here and got in the picture, and that was a very interesting discussion. In fact, I had to leave, and I just left him with the mic, and everybody in the chat room was just wearing them out with questions and talking. There's Adrian and Lee, and Adrian is known for his kind of 1 or 2 men de-expedition, and Adrian just got through doing the Somalia de-expedition, which I thought was pretty dangerous to be down here. But that's our friend Adrian. Another shot of our booth. There's our crew this year: Walter, Kathy, me, and Tommy. Martin, of course, Martin came over, and Martin had to point out his picture there. Let's see, and look, hey, not to be outdone, Katie had to point her picture out. Another shot of the booth. Shot from, I don't know, inside the booth. There's Walter. There's Dave. There's Dave Kessler. Dave joined us on and off for the first day right there, I think on Saturday. I think he had been to hamvention in about 46 years. There's Astronaut Wheelock. Doug has joined us for the last 5 years at hamvention, and we did some interviews and talked, and we let people in the chat room ask him a lot of questions. There he is signing autographs and pictures for people that come up and talk to him. We've had him on our weekly show. We've made him, last time he was on our weekly show, he was in Russia for 6 months, and we made him get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be on our show. There he is signing a picture for a little girl. He likes the little kids. There's another picture at a distance of him signing. A shot of Doug in the booth. Now you wonder, what do astronauts eat? Well, when they're on Earth, they eat hamburgers. So there he is right there eating hamburgers, and he looks like he's texting while he's eating. I don't know if that's safe or not, but let me tell you, this guy is so busy, and I tell you, I mean, I almost have tears in my eyes when I say this. He goes through a lot just to be with us. This guy is on his way now to Russia for 3 more months. He probably hits every state in a manner of just a week or two on doing presentations and meetings and things. And he's been making time for us for about 5 years now. He's even come to Memphis, and I've had him stay at my home here, and he visited St. Jude Hospital here to visit the kids. Cool guy. Here's Dina Green. This is the girl I was talking about, and I didn't look in the chat room. So Dina, if you're in the chat room, somebody can let me know there. And there's Katie. That's Mark, I think, isn't it, Mark? Yeah, Mark is the chairman of the Huntsville Ham Fest, and we'll be down at Huntsville again this year. Right next to the stage. Katie, they were asking in the chat room if you're going to be in Huntsville this year. Are you?
I don't know as of yet. I haven't heard that. Off the top of my head, I would say no, but that could change.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get you. Hopefully, we'll get you down here. There you are, right there. I was gone, and it looks like you took command of the booth, which is great. For that, we're gonna
somebody needed to.
We're gonna up your salary just maybe 10% more than what we're paying you.
No, I'd rather have extra vacation time.
I don't know about that. And Tommy and George got by, and I grabbed them and pulled them in. Everybody knows Tommy and George, so we had a good time with Tommy and George there. Now, Tommy bought a Tektronix scope, and he's never really used one, but he bought one, and he was trying to figure out how to work this thing. And guess what? Phil right there, that's Phil with the long hair, he worked for many years using that scope, and he came back and gave Tommy a lesson and showed Tommy how to use that thing. And Phil is always in front of our show every year, in front of the camera. You guys may see him calling his wife. She also watches. And Phil donates every time he comes to the show. He gives us a donation, which thank you, Phil, if you're watching. There we are again, Jerry and Amy. And that's when I just finally, after a little while, we just gave them the mic. I had to go work on some things, and they kept the show running, believe me. This is an interesting photo here. This is we're plugged in on the left. That powers all of our equipment. But the nice thing about it is the plug on the right. That is the IT equipment for the entire Greene County complex right there. It was right behind our curtain, and that right there powered the firewall. So we had total control over all the internet for Greene County. We could have completely turned it off and probably would not have been able to stay there more than about 30 more minutes before they kicked us out. But anyway, Tommy wanted a picture of that. Oh, there's the vehicle. Since we put the topper on the back, we don't have to worry about the rain anymore. And we went through some rain. It's so nice now to be able to throw everything back and keep it dry. Katie again in front of the camera. There's Jeff. There's Jeff. That's Jeff right there. There's Colonel Doug. I call him Colonel. Yeah, he was a colonel in the Army, and he is retired. So he's retired Colonel Doug right now.
And the lovely Kathy Medlin next to him.
Oh, let me go back.
Hard all weekend long.
Well, I overlooked her. There she is. There's Kathy. Kathy back there. She's working Hambot and trying to keep all the prizes. And I would like to say something. I want to thank Jeff and thank Tommy, thank Walter, and thank Kathy. Man, they worked really hard for the 4 or 5 days we were there, and couldn't have done it without them.
They did a great job.
Yeah.
Kathy likes to stay behind the scenes,
yeah, she does. She really does. There's that big. I
the
guess,
Luso Tower.
I guess
Hey, Tom,
it's the crank up. It's the crank up tower.
You should get them to donate one of those to your show next.
Yeah, you donate it as a prize. You just pay shipping. Yeah. You know, they were wanting to. I heard before Hamvention started. I was talking with some of the people up there, and they were wanting to stand that up outside, but I guess they decided not to. That would be probably.
That would be a great Christmas present for Kathy.
Yeah, it would be.
Right here out back.
There's Jeff, Kathy, Tommy in the booth. And there you are, and me, and Glenn Popeil, the author of ARL books, Arduino for Ham Radio, more Arduino for Ham Radio, and some title about mesh networks. Glenn is in the chat room here. Everybody say hello to Glenn. And I left you two guys alone, and everybody really started enjoying the interview there. You
were trying to leave a couple of times, and Glenn and I blocked you like football players.
Yeah.
We were like linebackers, like, no, you're not leaving.
Yeah. There's Mick Sternick from is it NCG or NGC? It's NCG.
Yeah.
He's the U.S. distributor for Comet products. And there he is showing the CAA 500. We gave away that CAA 500 as a fundraiser. And that was won by Ace. If I get it wrong, guys, this is not official, but it was AC1 BS, I think. That was the call. Anyway, it was Charles up in Trenton, Maine, who won that. There's Dave, a better shot of Dave right there, kind of closer to the camera. Dave is on our show, and I think he hadn't got back home yet. They drove over in a motorhome. I think they're going back in a couple of days. Another shot of Martin, there, Tommy, and we've already seen that. There's our friend from CQ, Rich Mollison, talking about CQ. Ham radio outlet. You guys look busy. And again, your booth looks, you're right up there with us.
Yep.
As
Do
far
our
as it
best to
looks.
keep up.
Yeah, as far as it looks. That's Kathy showing one of the vendors how Hambot works.
Yeah,
People
that's
are
John
really,
from SDR Play.
yeah, they're really interested in how Hambot works. Hambot does so much. They're amazed when they see this guy Hambot work. You know. There we go. There's the dynamic duo right there, Glenn Popel. Astronaut Doug signing the autographs there for the children. Now we're outside in the flea market. You can see this. This stuff is what they put down. It's scrapings off the highway. You know when they resurface a highway and they scrape up all that asphalt and they throw it back in the back of a dump truck? Well, that's what it is. Now that wasn't, it was not packed down or rolled down. It was just kind of dumped down. And when you walked on it, it was kind of soft there. It may have firmed up a little bit as time went, but I think that saved the day. If you look to the edge, you might see a little mud to the edge there, but for the main part, I think it worked. I understand there were a whole lot less complaints this year. That's a sign that that's from KB3. Oh man, I got it's called. I haven't trouble it's called KB3. Look on our
KB3
webpage.
IFH, the guy that
Look
makes
at our-
QSL cards.
Look on our webpage. Look on our webpage under prizes and the QSL card, the prizes for QSL card, and this was a sign that he made and brought to us. Appreciate
Yeah, that's
it.
Randy. He makes my
Randy,
QSL cards.
yeah, Randy, yeah. There's Richard with MFJ, and boy, they go big time in here with all their companies. Back outside, just walking around, you can see it's a little cloudy there. Here's Michael Kultur. Michael's talking to Harry and Drew there from Bloomington, I think it's Illinois. And Drew's been very active in ham radio and has been on our show a number of times. Michael, by the way, Michael Kultur is going to join us. We've been talking about this for 2 years now. Join us to bring in an international segment into our show where he will bring an international person in every couple weeks. And we'll talk about that.
That'd be a great addition. I had a chance to meet them in person, and
Yeah.
I remember hearing him speak at the youth forum a couple years ago. Very, very impressive young man, that's for sure.
More shots of our booth. It was kind of an L shape, but it worked out really well for us. And I think we should, yep, we're back at the beginning there. So let me bring this back up here. And Walter, you got your mic on. Walter, tell us, what do you think, man? This was your first year up here. Now, we made you work some, but you got a chance a number of times to get out and walk around. And what do you think about the place?
You know, it could very easily have become sensory overload. There was so much stuff, having never been to something like that on that scale, having only been to Huntsville as anything to measure it against, and have never been to Hera or the other location or anything. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was well laid out. It was very obvious that the local people there, and all the work that had gone into organizing and getting it set up and taking care of people and all the details that had been worked out. I heard such nightmares from last year with the rain and the traffic and all those sorts of things. Great big kudos to them. They did a great job and really got it pulled off well.
I'm glad you got to go. You think you'd be interested in going back?
Well, we might. We'll have to see what next year brings,
Yeah.
or the year after, or whenever it might be. I'm sure Freddie's probably going to want his job back.
Well, Freddie might want to go back if he can arrange for it. We just may have to take 2 cars up there. We used to take 4 and 5 cars and convoy up there, but that kind of fizzled out over the years.
That would get tough.
I mean, we could put 3 people in the back seat. It's a big crew cab truck, right? You saw how much room we had in there for 4 people.
Yeah.
Tell me why a truck that big has such little space when you get 4 people in it, man. Hey guys, let's take just a quick break. Be right back with you. Don't go away. Spring is in the air. Check out ICOM's line of D-Star radios. ICOM offers a variety of high-performance and innovative products. Stay connected around the world with ICOM's D-Star radios. ICOM's newest D-Star handheld is ready for the season ahead. Lightweight, compact, and tough, the new ID31A Plus is a great choice for any shack or those in harsh environments. It has 70-centimeter analog digital, a terminal mode, access point mode, and IPX7 weatherproofing. The ID51A Plus 2 provides extended D-Star coverage, allowing you to listen wherever you may go. It has terminal access mode, send and receive text messages and pictures, DV fast data mode, and easy FM repeater settings. Compact and user-friendly, the ID4100A is D-Star mobile with a big rig feature. Its intuitive interface, variety of operating modes, and Bluetooth capability make this a perfect D-Star option for those on the go. It has an integrated GPS receiver, new dot matrix display for enhanced DR mode and GPS information, terminal mode and access point mode. It has applications for iOS and Android devices, and a micro SD card slot for voice and data. All right, hey guys, hey, let's talk about the food a minute. Katie, did you eat any of that good food they had out there?
I did, actually. For a change, I actually went to the food vendors and ate something on, well, I showed you my chicken and noodles, and then on Friday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I finally just hit a wall. I'm like, and Dwayne happened to come find me. He's like, I'm gonna go get some ice cream. I'm like, I need a hamburger or something.
Man.
And I found one. It was a portobello cheeseburger, and it was a cheeseburger, and it had like sauteed portobello mushrooms and onions and cheese on this yummy bun, and I just scarfed it down, and then I had ice cream.
Oh man, you're making me hungry. Hey, look, I've got a video here that Jeff shot.
Oh, good.
Let's look at the food vendors here. It's just a few minutes long, guys. If you're wondering what the food was like, this is it.
Well, since the sun's out, let's take a look outside at all the food vendors. This is a big improvement over the Hararena food.
I never did get to try the steak on a stick.
$8.
I missed that too. I meant to go back and get a half dozen of those.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Just give you an idea where we are. The flea market is that way.
This gives people
And
an
there's
idea
quite a few
of the different kinds of food out
food
there.
vendors there.
Yeah.
Turning this way. This is
the real good food was
I think that's
down
building
though,
number 3.
where they're looking,
And
where he's
building
looking
number
right
2
now
is in the
to
middle.
the
That's where
left.
Tom set up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
building
are like more
number 1.
typical
Burgers.
carnival
I
foods.
can just
but
walk down this way.
the farther away you walk, the better food you
It's a
found.
nice crowd. I don't think it's as crowded as it was yesterday.
I
I know,
gotta get back
me
on my
too.
diet, man.
There's an interesting sight.
I
These
gained
guys
about
have been
3
here, coming here
pounds
for
while I
years.
was up there. But,
I lost 1.3 pounds.
yeah. Well, I ate lots of donuts, cupcakes, candy bars.
I ate a lot of salad. I was well behaved.
So it's very nice when the weather's nice.
How many minutes we got right there? See that right there? Minute and 2 minutes.
This is kind of the center of the
2:50.
location.
Okay, 2 minutes left. Let's walk
More
around.
food vendors here. It smells real good.
Oh yeah, down
There's a
there.
lot of
that's where I
outdoor
went to
seating.
go
There's some
find
tented
food.
seating over here. More food vendors.
Yeah, we know, Dale. That's why we're
I'll take
talking.
you to one of my favorite locations.
We're adding our opinion here.
And they
Dale
make
says
the
open
homemade
mic.
ice cream here with,
Well, hey,
An
are
interesting
you guys hearing us
antique.
talk?
I think so.
I believe
thought
what
we
they
were
call
just
a
adding
Lotus
the commentary.
John
Let's
Deere
see if they're
engine.
hearing us talk. Are you
And it
guys
should be
hearing us
running.
talk? Typically, it doesn't go out during the, let's see. Well, you know what? It is going to go out because I've got it on the wrong.
Your first aid station.
I
Okay, I don't think
purposely-
anybody said anything bad yet.
I purposely loaded these videos on a
More
line that
food.
would keep our mic open so we can comment about them.
Okay, yep, they're hearing us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little portic, that area with the on the left there was a tented area, and it had lots of picnic benches to sit in. I hid under there while I was eating my cheeseburger. This is a homemade ice cream
More
place
seating,
that was
outdoor
run by that
covered
Jack,
seating for when it rains. That gets pretty full.
not
John-
Jack.
It's
John
quite
Deere
full now.
John Deere thing. I had some mint chocolate chip and a waffle cone. It was pretty good.
Well, Jeff gets a good close up here of the hit and miss motor that's running.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that
that's,
one.
That's
let's
an
see
old
if
hit
I
and
can
miss
get close
motor
up
like
of
we
this.
used on farms, like 100 years
They're
ago.
not making ice
There we
cream
go.
right now, but they do leave the engine running.
Looks like my truck.
So the engine only fires based on load.
They
so
were
there's really
fast.
no load
There was
on it
a
right
long
now.
line, and
So we're
it
getting one
literally
off maybe
took
every
no
2
time
seconds or
at
so.
all. They were
Maybe
a
3.
smooth running operation, that's for
No,
sure.
you can't beat that. These giant flywheels keep this thing moving. Just don't let it run out of water, or it will it'll seize up.
I suppose the only way you can beat it is take
Yeah, the one across the
Same
booth
engine
where I
with an
found that
open
yummy
crankshaft.
burger was across the way from this one. I was glad I kept walking.
I believe I was told this was built
hungry.
in the
oh,
early
yeah,
30s.
The Yingling trailer was coming
And we'll come
down.
back out here.
Yeah, Andy, that's one of my favorites also. Let's see. As you can see,
All sorts of food. They do serve
all of the seating
beer
area
here.
was pretty full. Everybody was just sitting down, talking and eating
There's
together.
the beer
and
ladies.
That was really nice. Yeah, the black
There's a couple
walnut ice
different
cream, Terry,
stations.
that
Oh,
looked
say hi.
really good too. That was my second choice. There was the beer tent.
Come get a
Oh,
beer.
there they
Right?
are, all
Hi.
waving. I was working, so I didn't stop there.
Get cold beer.
All right, we'll stop here.
They're smiling, so they must have been
Well,
selling
since
beer.
the sun's out, let's look outside at all the
All
food
right,
vendors.
so that kind of gave you an idea. Let me get in the right studio here. I kind of gave you an idea of what the food was like. Oh man, I'm getting hungry right now.
You need a peanut butter sandwich.
Man, I may get me one tonight. Well, Katie, I saw on Facebook you were up on stage doing some singing too. You want to tell us about that?
Oh yeah, Friday night with the Working the Numbers musical crowd that formerly known as Asperious Emissions, but we were missing three of our main members that play in that group, so we had a couple new ones. But Friday night at the contest suites over at the Crown Plaza at 10 p.m. We perform and entertain for the crowds who hopefully have had a lot of beer and don't know any differently. But we put all the lyric. Ward Silver takes songs and then changes them out for ham lyrics, and it's a ton of fun. Generally speaking, we're not terribly good, but that's not the point. It's just to get up there and goof around. So I actually ended up doing backup singing for quite a few of the songs. It was actually a lot of fun and worth the loss of sleep, but we had a good time. And everybody up on stage was dealing with like colds and sore throats or just, worn out vocal cords from talking all day. So it was a little bit challenging, but it was a good time. Oops, move my chair around. I haven't seen many photos yet. I'm sure they'll be showing up sooner or later on the internet.
All right. Well, let's look at Andrea's mobile here, and we won't talk so much during it because she's talking and we'll be talking over her. So we'll try
I'll
to
hit
keep
the
our
mute
comments. We'll keep our comments quiet. Are limited. Here we go.
Okay, I'm back. This is Jeff N3VE. I'm outside, and I just thought I'd show you what's going on in the e-com section. There's a lot of emergency vehicles out here. This looks like a lot of radios on the ground. They're kind of short. Looks like maybe a 34-foot antenna. Don't know what it does. The person's not here, but if I turn around here, you'll see. It's starting to rain a little bit again, but it's not too bad. It looks like some sort of hex something up there, and another 6-meter Yagi on this amateur radio public service mobile unit. And then let's take a look at this thing here. It's marked Rover, and it's got a lot going on with the antennas. Oh, there's Cat in the Hat. Hi guys. You want to? Can you describe this to us, Andrea? Joe, you want to? Can you tell us what's going on here?
Go ahead, talk to her.
You want to hold the microphone?
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right. I don't know what to tell you.
Tell us about this radio.
Okay. Hello, I'm Andrea, Kilo 2 Echo Zulu. As people know me on the air here when I say Kilo 2 Echo Zulu. Anyway, that's my shtick, so to speak. On the back of the car, this is my VHF Rover. It also serves as my communications Go kit. On the back here, I've got Omnis horizontally polarized for 6 meters, the big loop at the top. I've got stacked 2-meter loops, stacked 1 1/4 meter loops. all horizontally polarized for weak signal work in VHF contests. On these other loops that are standing up, they're fed on the bottom to provide horizontal polarization. They're used on 70 centimeters and provide directional patterns. This one in the front here provides a broadside pattern to the vehicle, and the one in the back provides a front-rear pattern. That front-rear pattern, I can switch between those patterns with a little coax switch inside the vehicle. I've got a bunch of regular VHF whips moving forward on the car. Nothing exciting about those. Those are for FM, vertically polarized. And then I've got a Tar Heel Model 100. The Tar Heel Model 100, I used to have a little Tar Heel on there, but I pick up quite a bit of efficiency going to the Model 100 on the order of about 12 dB on 80 meters and about 7 dB on 40 meters. Those are the most common bands I work up there. You may know at the whip on the top of that one is bent, and that was bent with a torch in order to, it's a very rigid whip, and so by using the torch I get the bend started on that. That antenna will extend another 14 inches. About 12 inches is where it is when operating 80 meters, and at that height that would put the whip at 17.5 feet. And while I see some hams running whips crazy high like that, that whip's a bit heavy to do that. And I always focus at what I call the hard points. The whip can get impacted by something and have very little effect. This little mass back there, bad things are going to happen. So by getting that bend when it's at its height in 80 meters, it's about the same height of that rear mast there. And that's 11.5 feet above the ground, well below the clearance needed for tractor trailers, and anything below 14 feet needs to have signage on it. So I got to watch that. The whip itself is tied back to give it some consistency and limit its movement with its bent back. It will reach at the top of the arc about 13.5 feet, which is the highest point on the vehicle. But that's flexible if I hit that. It used to serve as a early warning if I wasn't sure, or brush guard to kind of lift things over this thing in the back. And just to note, this back loop here, there's little diagonal supports that go there. That has a nice habit of grabbing branches and ripping all the leaves off of them. And so I had to carry around a stick to knock the leaves off. Moving farther forward on the vehicle is the newest addition, which is a rotator, short mast, thrust bearing, and 3 Yagis, one for 2 meters, and below that 1.25 meters, and then 70 centimeters. Again, those are for VHF weak signal work. And below those, I guess those can be called Yagis too. They're loop Yagis. I just call them snake carriers. And I've got one for 33 centimeters on the far side of the car and 23 centimeters on the near side. That's very new as well. I just added a transverter to go with the flex radio. I have a number of upgrades going on in the vehicle right now. So inside the vehicle is a total mess, but we can go to the front. I've got a Yaesu FT450, which has been to date the primary 6-meter and HF radio. On the far side from that is a Yaesu FT736, which has been my primary 2 meters and my primary 1.25 meter radio. That radio has been the staple for many years. It also has my 1296, which is the 23 centimeters. Also, just below that radio, you kind of got to get up above, there's an IC7000 control head just below the 736. It's a little bit to the right. Oh, you got it. Your tablet's in the way. Yeah, so Their IC7000. IC7000 is the primary 70 centimeter radio. It's the backup 2 meter radio, backup 6, backup 8.
Well, I think we have a. Let's turn that off right here. I think we have a part 2 to that Jeff shot, but I don't have it with us right now. And of course, we got a lot of videos we can show. So, wow, what do you think about that? And you know, hey, they brought up a good point in the chat room there. You know, I wonder, man, that thing must give a car wash heck, man, when you go through a car wash with it, right? Oh man.
Absolutely.
Gee. All right. Well, Katie, what else is going on with you out there? Anything?
Well, let's see. Just before I came down, I was reorganizing our box for test sessions because Mom's going down to Newcastle, Wyoming tomorrow with WY7JB and W7ETR. They're going to be testing some students that have been studying. They're trying to get the test done before the end of the, before this current technician pool ends, and just getting ready for kind of getting everything sorted out here and get started on my club planning and get back to work this weekend, hopefully on working on that constitution and bylaws, and got some really good ideas, as I was mentioning when I was over at the ARRL booth, on how to find some hams in the area to recruit for Aries. So I've got to kind of get myself reorganized and start doing some of that work. So I'm kind of still trying to, once I recuperate from Dayton, it's just, it always seems to take a few days, and hopefully I haven't caught any Dayton crud, as we always called it in the past. But since we have a better facility to do that, I think I'm okay, and just trying to get this ankle working so maybe I can still do my half marathon in a couple weeks. So that's about the extent of it. I think that's enough for right now.
All right. Well, hey, there's the winner on there. I believe that's the winner. HC1BS is in the chat room there. He didn't even know
good.
he won the antenna analyzer. He came in today in the chat room and said hello, and I said congratulations, and he said about what, and I told him.
Lucky guy. That's a great analyzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
So he had a big surprise today. That's cool.
Good for him.
Let's see. I got some more videos. Look, guys, and I apologize if I get your name wrong or calls wrong tonight. My head is still kind of swimming. We got back last night, and I worked all day today unpacking and trying to set all this stuff back up. And it's amazing it even worked tonight. So I think we were out 6 days on this trip, and we streamed just about all 6 days. So,
oh yeah,
anyway,
and like Walter put it perfectly, it's like over sensory overload. And I've been doing this, was probably like my 9th or 10th hamvention, and it still is still like that after all these years. And you just have this constant din of activity and people around, and because it becomes like a homecoming, you get to see people you only see once a year. So there's all that energy and excitement from that, and then just all the different things that are happening, all the different vendor booths, and so yeah, it's definitely part of the recuperating is just kind of coming back to reality and being home again. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. All right, let me see. I may have one more. We got time for maybe one more video. Let's do one more. I don't think I'm gonna do Hangout tonight. Well,
yeah, it's kind of late. Dwayne already went to bed.
Here's a walk around. Let's see. Here's a walk around that Jeff did. We've got videos from Flex and just QRP Labs. A lot of companies. We're just not gonna have time tonight to show them, but we'll try to get them up on Facebook, and maybe the next week or two we can play more of them. Here's a walk around that he did.
Well, it stopped raining. The sun's out a little bit. I'm in building number 5. Here's W2IHY gear. They have some nice Hamfest specials. Tried to get an interview with Julius a few minutes ago, but I think the microphone kind of died on me. We'll see how well that worked, and I'll come back if it's not recorded properly. Pal Star, I've got a good interview with him. And we'll just walk around the building for a minute. Nuts and bolts. We got Bill's Linux in the shack. Rig expert. Not so crowded inside right now because the sun's out.
Hey, there's our old space right there, right by the door.
Ham Radio Deluxe.
That's us.
Buckmaster International. Nice antennas. But you should be able to build one your own. QRP. Time Wave. Great Scott gadgets, don't know what they do. Digital radio art. Looks like they're doing something with SDR. They don't know much about them. The RF connection. So we got some good connectors and toroids. I bought some yesterday. Mix 31 for my common mode chokes that I put out at the antenna and right out after the amplifier. I'll show you some of this. I can't imagine packing this stuff, taking it home when you're done the ham fest, or even bringing it out. Award Communications, more connectors, coax. Looks like they sold out of the toroids I bought yesterday. That box is empty. Do you have any more of these left? The large ones? Good for you. Sold out. Good price. Insulators, plastic, ceramic. Always selling crazy glue out here. Super glue, crazy glue. Siglin. Nice spectrum analyzer. That's not a bad price. Hello. Handheld digital oscilloscope. $370. Wow. That's pretty cool. More scopes. Microlog. iPortable. Ham Nation booth is not manned at this point, but Don Wheelbanks is not here. Heil Sound. Pete Brothers, they've been in business a long time with their weather station. And that's Building 5. We're making our way back out the door. Altimeter. I guess this is all part of Pete Brothers. And it's not raining. Someone head outside.
I can't hear you. No sound.
Hey, thanks for telling me that. I had
Oh,
it
there you
turned-
go.
had
I was
it
trying to do
turned-
the subtle thing, you know.
Yeah, I had it turned down so, I wouldn't interrupt the video.
Right.
Where was I? What was I saying, Walter?
About a peanut butter sandwich.
I'm getting hungry. I know what I was saying. I was saying that, guys, we'll try to post, and thanks to Jeff in 3VE for all those videos he did. And We've got videos that Tommy did, and John also did some videos.
Yeah.
And we'll try to put those up on the YouTube channel. All of them run maybe about 5 minutes in length, but they're with Heil Sound and just different companies, and we won't run them tonight. It's been a very tiring week, guys. We're going to take a break here, and we're not even going to have hangout tonight. I can't do hangout tonight, and it's 9:20, so
It's time for bed.
we're gonna call it a show. And Katie, are you guys as tired as I am now? Katie, you had it nice. You flew back.
Yeah, but it was still a really long day because, again, we didn't get home until like 2 in the morning, and then Dwayne actually went to work last night and then worked again today. So he already left and went to bed, and I'm pretty much, I think I'm gonna have to get a snack though. All those food trucks and everything made me hungry again. So
Yeah.
and then I'm going to sleep.
All right. Well, you know what? We didn't have time to open the phone lines tonight. Maybe next weekend we'll continue. Maybe next week we'll have maybe a 20-minute segment and continue this. And we'll. I'd love to hear from people that went and hear their experience and what they thought about it. So we'll do that maybe next week. I'll say good night, 73 to everybody. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. We had looked like a record crowd watching tonight. Say goodbye, Katie.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thanks
Katie.
for
Goodbye,
watching.
everybody.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Good night, Katie.
Good night, Tom.
All right.
Good night, Walter.
Good night.
Good night, John.
All right, guys. So I think it was pretty good. We did good tonight. Okay, 73 to everybody. Good night. I'm cutting the wires off. I'm going to get me a peanut butter sandwich. And we're going to rest. My ears are ringing, man. I don't know. All right. See you later. Goodbye. Good night.